Hello friends, welcome back into the Golden Tee Lounge. Long time no see, but we're back here. Kevin Lindsay. It is time to take a look at this week's Throwback Thursday Daily Contest. It is Pine Coast from Golden Tee 2017, which doesn't seem like that far long ago. But now that I say that number out loud, that is from long time ago. But this is a fun course because guess what? There's a drivable par 5 smack dab right in the middle of this contest, hole number 10. Before I worry about whether or not we're going to, maybe hole that out in a slim chance, but more likely water that shot, let's get through the rest of the course as is. One of the few but fun courses that has hole 2 as a par 3. Scoring on this one, usually 28, 29, sometimes 30 with that drivable par 5. But it says Pine in the title of the course, which means you're going to have to handle sand and water. You guys, whether you're new to Golden Tee or have been around a long time, should be able to figure this out. I have not touched trackball in a while. Lots of good things going on. If you've yet to check out our continued Golden Tee 2022 course teases, make sure you're following us on social media at Golden Tee, or make sure you're going to goldentee.com. Course trailers launch next week, and then from there it is just full speed ahead until the courses launch at the end of May. Now, although hole 10 is always drivable, although sometimes difficult, hole 4 here is fringe drivable. You want to have a tee box that is closer to the water, of course, or a wind that supports it. This is only 389, and even though the wind is not necessarily blowing in my favor, it's only 5 miles an hour. I am using grabbers, but because this is a video, we're going to go for it. Now, I did not get that out as much to the one as I wanted to. That is unfortunate. If you're using streaks or stouts, probably going to be able to get over there. Now, the good thing is that if you screw up close enough to the green, you can still save eagle. And sometimes I make a chip that makes it seem like I used to play Golden Tee good at some point. So, this is not bad. Go for the drivable potential drivable par 5. Have fun with it. If you screw up, don't fret. You just have to make a chip. Now, hole 5, drivable par 4. This is a bit different. Very, very rarely do you see not only a 10-mile-an-hour wind on such an early hole, but also a tee box that is so close and a pin that is probably as far back as you're ever going to have it on that green. So I don't really have a great solution for you here. I'd love to hit the 8-wood. If that wind was blowing in the face, tee this bad boy back, and then boom, 8-wood. I don't feel comfortable with that. So what I'm probably going to do is just take a 3 hybrid around the trees very softly. Hopefully get a good bounce. That was not a good bounce. That was a bad bounce for those of you watching at home. My chipping still sucks. So we're going to take a birdie. That's okay. There's going to be some finesse that you're going to have to work with on hole 5 there, but nothing you guys can't handle. Hole 6. This par 3, for only being hole 6, can set up pretty nasty. Thankfully for us, 185 to the pin. I'm a 5 hybrid kind of guy. So, just throw that low lofted club right at the green. Not too far away from great shot points, and you got a shot there. Hole 7, par 5. This is a fun one because you can go one of two ways. You can go ahead, drive the ball down to this lower fairway. You are going to have to deal with the fact that the green is very elevated at this point. You can go here behind the sand traps, and you'll have a 10-mile-an-hour wind to the left, but it's not really going to be blowing out in your favor. You could do what I'm going to do here, which is big C3 to try to get over and past that sand. Not too shabby of a shot here. Let's see if we get a little hybrid in. Oh boy, that was a complete miss of the trackball. So don't worry. This is why you should be playing a couple games of the week because each week, because otherwise you get rusty and you make terrible shots like that. Hole 8, nice, fun, drivable par 4. This one's a little bit longer at 326, so we're just going to do a nice little shot around. If you're looking for bonus points, hit it harder and bounce it off the rock in the cup for shot of the week. SOTW@itsgames.com if you're ever looking to submit those. You can also send them to us on Instagram and Facebook messages as well, but that email address is going to be the best bet for the entire team to see your great shots you guys send. Freaky Friday tomorrow, 2013 par 3 classic. It was time to break back the par 3 course out, and it's going to be a fun one. There'll be a couple difficult holes, but I really want to give people the opportunity to score and score big in that contest. All right, and now we have made it here to hole 10, the drivable par 5. Of course, 11-mile-an-hour wind in my face because why not? You can go around from the left here. The wind does not help you. You can also go around to the right. This may be your better option here. You got to be careful that you do not clip any of the trees here. I'm going to use a 9.5, and I'm going to not do a full C3, but probably a little bit of a C2.5. Maybe a C3 would have been better because that's going to go wet. But that's all right. I do not feel like re-recording a video. So we're just going to play it as is. Missed the chip for eagle. Oh, and they're going to put me on the rough here. I think this is the part where we start to tilt. And this is why we give you the same setup all day long, because you make a mistake like this, you finish out the round, and then you play again and say, how am I not going to play hole 10? Because I don't want to be like Kevin, who just parred it. Parring a par 5 is rough. Parring a drivable par 5 hurts just a little bit extra. But we'll get over it. Hole 11, pretty straightforward, par 4, unless you hit your shot short and then bounce it off the rock into the water. I'm noticing a trend here. But thankfully for me, I stopped that sentence to say, thankfully they drop you right here, because I figured if I said that, I would have skipped the, I would have just missed. Hole 12, this is a drivable par 4 that can sometimes set up pretty nasty. Avoid what I almost just did, which is hit the rocks right here in front of the green. I was lucky, and I just barely skirted on by. But be thankful that wind is blowing out. Although this hole does get fun if you've got a big wind in your face. Really just depends on the distances. All right, hole 13, a par 5. Couple of options here, although with this setup, not too many. You can hit a big A1 up here to that fairway, but you play a dangerous game of distance depending on the wind in your face and where that pin lies. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead, high tee a 9.5 degree driver. I just want to get it out as far as I can to not just the edge of the fairway in the first cut, but as far right as possible. This is not bad. Now, one thing to remember, because I'm going to probably put this in the water, you have an elevation change. So do not do what I was just about to do, and do not pull back. Pull back on a shot like this. It does make a difference. Gives you more control. All right, score is not what we really wanted, but we're going to make the most of it. Oh boy, Peter. Oh, Peter. Peter, stop the ball. No. All right, well, that was just it's just bad decision making. You know, I'm going to blame a little bit of that terrible chip shot on trackball that I haven't touched in a while. Might have to make sure there's no specks on it or anything like that. All right, hole 15, a fun drivable par 4. This one's going to require a little bit of work because it is a 11-mile-an-hour wind blowing to about the 8:30. I'm going to go 10.5 degree driver because I would like to avoid all of these rocks in my way. Look at that. We eagled a drivable hole. Round of applause for me, because apparently that's an issue. Now, hole 16 may be one of the more difficult par 5s in the most, I would say the last 5 or 10 years of Golden Tee. This is also a hole that has given people trouble in Golden Tee Mobile because there's a few options here, depending on where the tee box is. If you're on one of those farther left tee boxes over here, much easier. Throw it straight to the left, straight to the middle. Here, we don't have a lot of room. We pretty much have to go soft driver right here. Please stay out of the rough. Stay on the first cut. Now, as long as you're on the fairway or the first cut, you'll be okay. This is still going to be a tough shot. Oh, boy. What's even tougher is when you hit a terrible shot. Oh, but thankfully it hit the green to then go in the sand. Oh, we are just not having a good Golden Tee day today, but that's okay. Oh, almost made the chip out of the sand for eagle. This may be a hole that gives you some difficulties if you're a newer player. And so don't be afraid to take a birdie on this and lay up. Hole 17, a nice 187-yard look. I am just going to go ahead and put a little bite on my 3 hybrid. I'm going to overcut it because why wouldn't I? Oh, look at that. Got saved somehow. Got saved just to miss the chip. I'll tell you what, the want to re-record this video is so great right now, but that's all right. Everyone has a bad day. I'm just having a continuous bad day. Now, speaking of bad day, hole 18. This is not too bad of a look because you can high tee it and skirt a 5-wood around those trees, maybe even ace it. If you are in one of these tee boxes over here, the one you can't even see because it's buried by trees, it's much trickier. There's probably a shot you could do here to the left, but with this wind where it's at and a terrible game that we're having, we're going to high tee this, and we are going to just go for the gold. Now, that's what I wanted to do, but in hitting it to the side with my side hand a little bit, I came up short. So just make sure you're getting at least 125 to 130 on that. Let the green, let the ball roll on the green. But at least we ended on a high note of putting in for eagle. $1,000 in today's prize pool for Pine Coast, our Throwback Thursday Daily Contest. Don't be like me. Don't hit a scorecard like this. Please, please don't. Just make sure you're going to goldentee.com/locations, finding a game near you, and make sure you play a handful of games today. We'll see you tomorrow for Freaky Friday.